This is Eric from Vegas Rocks Magazine, backstage with Rick from Adelitas Way, one of our local boys made good. So Rick, I got to ask you right off the rip, what's it like to play a festival this big in front of your hometown?
Oh, it's amazing. I think anytime you get to drive from your house to work is a beautiful thing, and I think being a part of Las Rageous is exciting. You know, it's been an exciting day for us. You know, you got to remember we've been around for 11 years touring. We're an independent band. We do everything ourselves, and to come in and play a big festival in your hometown and build on to the fan base here is it's exciting.
So are you guys playing a lot of festivals this year? Or?
Yeah, we're playing Rock USA, we're playing Rock Fest in Wisconsin, we're playing Rocklahoma. We got a lot of them. I mean, I'm missing a couple. We're doing Incarceration in Mansfield, Ohio, Ink and the Clink.
Awesome, my home state.
Yeah.
That plug in there real quick.
Yeah.
But yeah, just love to see you guys doing so well. You kind of led me into one of my questions. I get asked by a lot of the local bands that have been where you were years ago with the whole label independent thing. I know you've been both directions. If you had to give some of the local acts coming up where you were some advice, what advice would you give them as far as that whole scene?
I would say don't be afraid to sign a deal. You know, I think they can be helpful. Anything I would sign, I would make sure it has a certain year, like length cap, because the business is always changing so much that you want to have that in a focal point. You know, if you sign a 5-album deal, 5 albums could take 10 years. You know what this business is going to look like in 10 years? It's going to be completely different from whatever you have on paper. So I would advise bands to not be afraid to go partner up with some of these great labels out there. You know, we had a great time on Capitol Records. But at the end of the day, once our contract was up and we were able to become available, I've seen so many other bands try to dive into smaller indie labels and just not really get what I was hoping for, you know, what I would be hoping for out of them. I felt like I could do that myself, so I started the Vegas Sin Records, and I mean, just to cap things up, we're coming off of, arguably, you know, people could have debates any way you want it, but when you look at statistic-wise, we're coming off of the biggest hit single we've ever had in our 10-year career with Notorious, so that's been a beautiful thing.
You've done a good job of leading me into my question, so you know that's you could be a journalist now. But I was going to ask you, with Notorious doing so well, the new record doing so well, does that kind of give you a vindication for what you wanted to do as far as going your own direction?
Well, it gives you a little more power. You're more of a major player in the game. You know, I think people realize now that after 3 years of building our own label and having, you know, we had a Bad Reputation was a top 10 hit on the label. Ready for War went 15. You know, we have, as a record label, you know, we have, what, 30 million streams on Spotify on our recordings that we own. So I think when you start having that type of success, you become a player in the game because your life changes financially. You're no longer this starving rock band, or you no longer are portrayed as that. You know, like we do very well. We sell out shows all over the country. We're one of the most streamed bands in our genre, even without a label, without a manager. So I think the good thing it shows you is if you can establish that fan base, you can get the fans on board. Anything is possible. You know, we are our own bosses, and it's truly the first time in our career that we wake up and the only person that I have to answer to is myself. So it feels pretty great.
You're still one of the favorites with the WWE crowd.
Of course.
Too.
I mean, look at that. We had through our record label, the Vegas Sin, I got us to sync, and my team got us to sync with "Pray for Peace, Ready for War." We were the theme song for TLC. I mean, you got to think when you're doing the kind of things. When we had the #1 song on Octane, we had you know, on the label side of things. I mean, we've sold 100,000 records on our own label. We've sold, you know, maybe 300,000 singles. You know, we have 30 million streams. So life is beautiful. We're very blessed, and I say that how we got there was a combination of having a great team at Virgin Records, working hard there, building our fan base up. When it came time to restructure our contract, you know, we decided that we wanted to try to do things on our own. People thought I was crazy when I said I wanted to do that. But I came up with a lot of people in this game, and people don't realize that. There are people over at Spotify and Apple Music that started this business 10 years ago, the same time I did. So I have friends places, you know, and it really helps. You know, same with Vincent over at Octane. You know, when you're coming up with these guys and you're coming up in the scene together, it's just a bunch of, you almost stick together. And we keep delivering the songs that make it easy for them to plug some of these looks in. So it's been really great for us.
And speaking of plugs, just for the locals that don't know, you've gone through just a little bit of a change. You got a different guitar player than some have seen you out with in the last 5-6 years. Can you tell us a little bit about him?
You know, I think at this point we've been around for over a decade. It's obvious I'm the primary main songwriter for the band, over 5 albums. We're bringing our friends in to play our music, people that we have bonds with and people we have relationships with. And right now we have Tavis Stanley out from Art of Dying. And Tavis has always been one of my favorite people that we've ever toured with. We toured with Art of Dying, and they were a great band. And you know, it's just been a real pleasure playing with him. And it's just been, you know, we really feel like when we're up there together, me, Trevor, Andrew, and Tavis, that everything's clicking. It feels nice.
That's why I wanted to bring that up. I had a chance to review his CD for a local publication with Art of Dying a while back, and I love those guys and love seeing that partnership between the two of you.
Oh, me too. Those guys are our friends, and I'm a firm believer of I don't like in this business that bands are so separated. Bands are so competitive. I think more bands should stick together. And whenever I can, you know, like I said, I run the label, I have my connections. Whenever I can, I try to help everyone that I can in the scene that came up with us. I bring a lot of bands out on tour. You know, I just got done bringing out Taking Dawn on 2 runs. You know, they're a Vegas band that I just really love.
Chris Babbitt's one of the security guards here today.
Chris is security. He shouldn't be working security because he's far too talented, but it's just a matter of time until, you know, he's playing world stages again. So I always try to show my respect to other artists and you know, just not make it. It's not a competition. We don't have to compete with anyone. Like I said, we got 100 million streams in this game. You know, we've sold 1 million records cumulative. I have nothing to prove to anyone. So I'm bros with all these bands. When we share the stage with other bands, it's an honor and it's a pleasure. You know, we're 10-year veterans, and we plan on being here another 20. So it's fine.
Speaking of respect, I want to end it by telling you the same thing I told Ryan and Adrian Patrick last night. You know, we go back about 10 years. You know, I can remember the days of handing out flyers for Ryan and Adrian at the old Cheyenne Saloon, you know, when they were coming up. And from journalists here in Las Vegas, you know, Sally loves you guys. Being in our magazine, it makes us proud as locals to see bands like you and otherwise, you know, that came out of here, you grew out of here, and look where you're at now.
Yeah,
so
it feels great.
the whole Vegas community is proud of you, and we're happy to see you here.
Oh, thank you so much.
Thank you.
It's a pleasure.
Thank you.